The federal government may incur additional 315 billion naira in wage bill in the next 6 months for the newly introduced allowance for federal workers, findings have shown. Now you know how we do it, so over the next half hour, we will be looking beyond the business headlines by bringing you in-depth perspectives on what's happening in the business world. First, we'll take a look at a 6-month allowance. After that, we'll proceed to gas inflation, foreign exchange. These and more comes to you right after the break. Stay with us. Well, hello and welcome to Business This Week today. My name is Chinwe Nwokocha. We begin today's news where the federal government may incur additional 315 billion naira in wage bill in the next 6 months for the newly introduced allowance for federal workers, findings have shown. This came as organized labor agreed to suspend its proposed nationwide strike for 30 days following the signing of a memorandum of understanding with the federal government after a marathon meeting. The resolution comes after over 5 hours of deliberations between the federal government and Labour at the Chief of Staff Conference Room of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Announcing the outcome of the meeting, the State House correspondent, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, said the NLC and TUC have accepted to suspend for 30 days the planned indefinite nationwide strike. The naira gained 0.79% over the dollar as the foreign exchange resumed after the independence holiday. The market opened with the dollar trading at 1,000 naira as against 1,008 naira on Friday at the parallel market, while at the investors and export forex window, naira appreciated by 2.59% as the dollar was quoted at 755.27 naira on Friday compared to 775 naira quoted on Thursday last week. Data from the FMDQ has shown. The naira appreciation was attributed to a moderation in demand for the greenback as the market awaits the next policy action of Olayemi Cardoso, the new Central Bank of Nigeria governor. And price of 12.5 kg of liquefied natural gas or cooking gas has increased to 12,000 naira as Nigeria celebrates her 63rd independence anniversary, news has gathered. Market survey revealed that gas retailers had jacked up prices from 12.5 kg has jacked up prices of 12.5 kg from 10,000 naira reported towards the end of last month to around 12,500 in Lagos. Worthy of note is the fact that the President, Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers, Olatunbosun Oladepo, warned that the price of 12.5 kg cooking gas could hit as high as 18,000 naira by December if the federal government did not checkmate the activities of the terminal owners. However, despite the warning, Olatunbosun disclosed that the government was yet to wade into the crisis. According to him, gas retailers will buy 20 metric tons of gas for 40 million naira at the depot. Now recall that in September, it was reported that terminal owners jacked up the price of cooking gas from between 9 to 10 million naira per 20 metric tons to 40 million naira. Now, according to him, terminal owners were hiding under the guise of high foreign exchange to increase price and further increase the suffering of the masses. Although gas terminal owners do not have a visible association, spokesperson of Navgas, Friday Ago, and NIPCO PLC, as K. Kuruma, did not respond to the inquiries by the press. The Nigerian government has announced the waiver of value-added tax on diesel for the next 6 months to address the impact of petroleum subsidy removal in the country. The waiver is part of the resolution reached during the meeting between the labor unions and the government delegations, as disclosed by Information Minister Mohammed Idris in a statement. The meeting was held a few hours after President Tinubu addressed Nigerians on the occasion of Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary. VAT is a consumption tax which is administered by the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It was introduced in Nigeria with the enactment of VAT Act number 102 of 1993, which replaced the sales tax, which had been in operation since 1986 by the federal government decree number 7 of 1986. Still talking about oil. Oil marketers said the cost of automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel, was still over 1,000 naira per litre despite the announcement of the federal government that it had removed value-added tax on the commodity. It was gathered that the cost of AGO was still between 990 naira and 1,001 naira per litre on Monday, though many filling stations lacked the product, as they blamed this on the high price of diesel. Dealers of the commodity told newsmen that they were aware of the decisions of the government to remove VAT on diesel, but they described it as just an announcement for now. Officials of the Nigeria Customs Service and Federal Inland Revenue Service had confirmed this, as they stressed that diesel was not exempted from the payment of VAT based on the VAT modification order of 2021. However, on Sunday, the federal government announced that it had waived VAT on diesel for 6 months. And the Federal High Court's Abuja Judicial Division will in October hear the 30 billion naira suit lodged by the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria against Meta Platforms Incorporated, owners of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and its agents, AT3 Resources Limited. The Director General of Arcon, Olalekan Fadolapo, made this disclosure during an exclusive interview. Arcon is seeking a declaration, among others, that the continued publication and exposure of various advertisements directed at the Nigerian market through Facebook and Instagram platforms by Meta Platforms Incorporated without ensuring the same is vetted and approved before exposure is illegal, unlawful, and a violation of the extant advertising law in Nigeria. According to the apex regulatory body for advertising in the country, Meta Platforms Incorporate's continued exposure of unvetted adverts had led to a loss of revenue to the federal government. And Bua Cement, a subsidiary of Bua Group, has announced a reduction in the price of their cement from 5,000 to 6,000 naira to 3,500 naira per bag, effective from October 2nd. In a statement signed by the management of the company, they said they were reducing the prices in a bid to spur development in the building materials and infrastructure sectors. In recent times, the price of cement has seen a significant increase from 3,500 to as high as 6,000 naira in some parts of the country, forcing up construction and manufacturing prices. The firm said upon completion of ongoing construction of its new plants, which would increase production volumes to 17 million metric tons per annum, they intend to review the prices further in line with their earlier pronouncements by the first quarter of next year. The statement went on to add that all pending undelivered orders which had been paid for at the old prices will be reviewed downwards to 3,500 naira per bag in line with the new pricing, and all licensed dealers should ensure that end users benefit from this reduction in ex-factory prices, as they will monitor field sales to ensure compliance. Moving on, Nigeria has set a plan to help startups raise their total yearly funding rounds to $5 billion by 2027. This was disclosed by the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, in a statement titled "Accelerating Our Collective Prosperity Through Technical Efficiency, a strategic plan for the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy." The minister highlighted that in today's global technology landscape, innovation, entrepreneurship, and access to capital are critical components of a strong digital economy. He stated that the primary objective of the ministry as regards this will be to stimulate the growth and sustainability of startups with a specific focus on those developing innovative solutions for critical sectors of the economy. Amid a funding drought, Nigerian startups raised $1.2 billion in 2022, according to Africa The Big Deal, an African funding data insights firm. Now, African startups raised $5.4 billion according to Bright Bridges in 2022. He further declared that the ministry would establish an active sandbox environment to encourage and empower innovators and entrepreneurs to develop unique solutions for sectors considered to have limited exposure to technological innovations. And against the backdrop of foreign exchange, forex evaluation losses recorded by many big manufacturing and other firms, banks have recorded a whooping forex assets revaluation gains amounting to 1.913 trillion naira in just first half of 2023, following the exchange rate reform introduced by the federal government in the second quarter of 2023, which drastically devalued the naira. The naira devaluation had impacted negatively on the manufacturing firms and other companies that Nigerians rely on to boost their living standards as well as the gross domestic products of the country. Findings show that top 12 banks in the country, which are listed on the Nigerian Exchange Limited, recorded just 70.3 billion naira in their forex businesses in the corresponding period of 2022, indicating that the first half of 2023 forex profit growth rate was 2,621.2%. Now, according to details of the financial reports of the 12 banks released by the NGX, they recorded a combined profit before tax of 1.787 trillion naira as against 666 billion naira recorded in the first half of 2022. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association and the Nigerian Economic Summit Group have divergent views on the approval of a $700 million fresh loan by the World Bank for Nigeria to enhance adolescent girls' learning and empowerment. While the NESG lauded the move by the federal government to boost human capital development, NECA believed that any further loan by the government would deepen the country's economic woes. Report has it that the Central Bank of Nigeria, in a statement published on its website last Friday, said the new loan was to provide additional funds for an ongoing project known as the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment. The statement read, the World Bank approved additional financing of $700 million for Nigeria to scale up the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment program, whose goal is to improve secondary education opportunities among girls in targeted states. You're still watching Business This Week on Viewer Television. It's time for a short break, and when we return, we'll have a guest join us today to discuss on fuel subsidy, its attending effects, and more. Stay with us.
Two souls together. Where am I now?
Tat fragrance.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Business This Week on Viewer Television. Now, joining us today is Ajayi Victor, co-founder Deep Grasp Limited. Mr. Victor, it's good to have you in our midst today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, okay. Now, let's get right into it. Now, recall after swearing in on the 29th May, President Bola Tinubu and his administration removed fuel subsidy in Nigeria. Fuel as a household item is, and if the price of fuel goes up, it affects every other thing generally, both goods, both services. How do you think his decision affects us? This fuel subsidy removal. Do you think it was his? Do you think it was timely? Do you think it had to go?
Well, I'm of the opinion that fuel subsidy removal is a complex issue.
Okay.
Because whichever way it goes, it has its own effect, whether positive or negative effect.
Okay.
So, and I want to believe that as long as we continue to dwell on the issue of fuel subsidy, there's always a divergence view
about
it.
Okay.
But for me, I believe fuel subsidy removal is long overdue.
Okay.
Because no nation in the world, as we speak, is subsidizing fuel again.
Okay.
Anything that has to do with
oil.
Oil.
Okay.
People are the nations are now removing incentives from fossil fuel, and then placing it on net zero and all of that. Fuel subsidy removal, yes, we should, as a nation, cooperate and collaborate with the government on the removal. Yes, it's bringing a lot of hardship.
Exactly. I was going to ask you about that because it seems, like you said, it was long overdue.
Yeah.
But the hardship we all are going through right now, do you think a lot of Nigerians never anticipated this? What do you think? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, well, what I can say about that is that government must continue to strike a balance between economic reform and the citizen welfare. And that's more reasons government must continue to do things in ways that cushions the effects of subsidy removal, because we cannot deny the fact that a lot of Nigerians are going through a lot at the moment because of the removal of the subsidy.
Exactly.
Because of the removal of the subsidy. But be that as it may, government must work hard day and night, and that's why they are there for the people. Because in essence, it's not you are not the purpose of governing is not to come and inflict hardship on the people. It's to ease their hardship they are already going through.
Yeah.
So I believe that the hardship that we are going through as a nation is something that will soon be over with a lot of policies that government is putting in place.
Now. Okay. Now another question is, now recall on the 2nd of this month, right, just days ago, the organized labor and the federal government had a meeting which bordered on the cushioning of the effect of the fuel subsidy removal, right? And one of the resolutions made from that meeting was the addendum to the salaries of the federal government workers, the 35,000 naira that was added to their salaries. Yeah, you said something that the governments are already making policies on how to cushion the effects. I guess this is one of the policies, right? Now, do you think this is enough? And remember, they directed it to the federal workers alone, and it would last for just 6 months. Do you think this is enough compared to the effect of this fuel subsidy removal, compared to what people are going through? Because prices of things in the market tripled. So 35,000 naira rather, I'm not saying it's bad, but do you think they could have done better?
Whatever will bring relief to the citizens on the part of the government can never be enough. So federal government should continue to do more. But I want to believe that the 35,000 naira that will be paid for some set of civil servants in the next 6 months is a right step in the right direction. But even at that, federal government should continue to formulate policies and come out with better ways to cushion the effect, because the effect of subsidy removal is not only on the civil servant.
Yeah,
we have quite a number of people in the street who is affected. Virtually every Nigerian citizen is affected by this policy. So the government must come out with strategies and means to be able to reach out with the majority, most especially the people at the rural area, so that at the end of the day, everybody will be able to feel the impact of the government as a citizen of that country. And by extension, the government will be happy that the citizens are happy, because the essence of we voting a certain government to govern us is to come and do better than what the previous administration has done. So I believe that this 35,000 naira or wages that will be paid to some civil servants in the next 6 months is something that is well thought out and it's something that is welcome by all. But I hope that the government will also find other ways to reach out to more citizens.
Right. Thank you very much. Now, we've just finished talking about how it affects us as Nigerian citizens. I want to ask, are there ways also this subsidy removal affected our economy generally?
Yes, subsidy removal, is something that is as hitting hard on Nigeria's economy, and that's where we are where we are today. Like I told you in the past, it's not sustainable to continue to subsidize fuel. Instead of subsidizing fuel, you have to place incentives on environmental friendly product. Like a lot of people are now using solar. They don't need to buy fuel again. By the time we go into EV, our country should be looking at producing EV automobile, and in which we will no longer depend on fuel. But our country should be looking at renewable energy to be able to give uninterrupted power supplies to the country, so that nobody depends on generation to generate electricity. Once these are done, I tell you that the impact will be felt in a positive way on Nigerian economy, and there will be a sigh of relief on the part of every Nigerian citizen.
Right. Thank you very much. All right. We also know that since May, over 3 trillion naira has been recovered from the fuel subsidy removal. So I'm just asking, out of curiosity, where are these monies? Has it been channeled to another sector? Do you know anything about it?
Well, I'm not in the right position to state where the money is or where whatever. But I want to believe, as a citizen of this country, government should start thinking. If truly such a huge amount of money has been saved, government should now start thinking on where to channel this money. And when I say channel, I mean where to invest this money. The government should be thinking of doing more, investing in infrastructure. Government should be doing more in investing in our education and training for the citizens. Government should be doing more in improving our health sector. Government should be doing more in diversifying the economy.
That's the whole aim, right? That's the whole aim. Subsidy on fuel and putting it into
that's the essence of removing the subsidy. So diversification in every sector. Because the world is transiting from fossil fuel-based economy to net zero economy. And if we refuse to join the world to transit, we will become a slave.
Thank you.
That is the truth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor Ajayi, for coming to Business This Week today. All right, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Business This Week. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Chinwe Nwokocha. Till I see you next time. Bye for now.